Lawrence, am I right?
I wanna fold clothes for you. I wanna make you feel good. Baby, I wanna do the right thing.
Hey y'all, it's producer, and I'm coming at y'all with episode 2 of season 2 of Luke Cage. And I just hopped out the shower recently, so my hair is still a little wet after I washed it. But we're gonna slide right past that and get right into the review today, which like I said earlier, it has a sort of like a parental focus, which I feel like is going to bleed through the entire season, which I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. So anyway, the episode itself. So after so it starts with Luke going to Claire with a very questionable first scene. A very questionable, like the first couple seconds you thought they would be having coffee, but no. She's inspecting him, and she's like, "It looks like you're even more indestructible. The bath that you must have taken from the doctor must have made you more strong to take in a Judas bullet." Which, I guess that makes sense, but then why did Diamondback kick his ass? That's not adding up. That's not adding up. So you're telling me you can take a Judas bullet, but not like some automated ass punches? Weren't those like alien bullets? We're going to slide right past that and get to the rest. And so the episode continues. And Luke is doing like an athlete showcase. But he's not really an athlete. Because I want to see how strong he is. Right? Which is sort of weird. I'm not really a fan of this. Because it's like football. But not really football. Like those camps and stuff. Like, okay. I feel it's it's completely unnecessary, but they do something with it. One of these things is a Jamel Hill and a Michael Smith cameo. I was like, okay, y'all. And then Bobby getting that money, being a manager for Luke. I'm like, all right. But and then there's a running gag with the Jamaicans about them seeing it, and he was like, "You are not faster than Usain Bolt." Like, they say it once, but I have to rewatch the second episode. And they said that a lot, like the third and fourth episode. I don't know why that's so important. He's not faster than you. I mean, he is faster than Usain Bolt. I don't know why y'all pressed. He's a superhuman. You still have Usain Bolt. But anyway. So they do that, and then it cuts to Shades and Mariah. And Mariah's like, "No, what happened to Arturo? No, I don't trust these other people." And she's like, "Well, you're sort of gonna have to." And then she's like, "I hate this. I don't want to get back to the game," because she's either get back into the life, or you sell the painting, or you go to the other buyers to get the money that she needs for the stock. And she's like, "I don't want to do that. It took my mom, it took my uncle, it took Cornell." And I was like, no. You took Cornell. You tried it. And then it cuts to the police precinct. And then homegirl's back in business. She got her job and everything. But she's not doing everything. But we'll get into that. First, she reunites with Nandy, which apparently was like a competitor. I think it was police. And it was I think it was for basketball and in the police force. But anyway, they don't like each other. And Nandy is a snake. So just remember that. And then everyone's giving her problems. She was like, "Oh, you need to stop. This isn't your job or whatever." And I'm like, let her do her job. And then we cut to freaking what's his face? Not Nigel. Bushmaster. We cut to Bushmaster, and when he took those bullets in last episode, he's like taking them out, just because unlike Luke, they bounce off of him, they go into his skin, and I guess they don't hurt him. And he does like some herbal stuff to, I guess, alleviate the pain. I'm not too sure. That was a hard scene to watch, though. That was nasty. And then we cut again to Luke's, I shouldn't say cut, because these aren't all cuts. But basically, it's a scene change. And so we're at Pop's. And then Luke's dad pops up. And he was like, "Oh, you know how hard it is to keep a baldy. Can I get a shape up here?" And I guess he didn't do his research, because Pop's isn't really a barbershop anymore. And then he leaves. But then Claire comes. She's like, "Oh my gosh, your daddy's here. That's good." No, it's not clear. He was a terrible father that only wants to claim him because his son now has powers. Why are you standing the terrible dad? So we go to the precinct. And Nandy is a snake, so she acts all mean and stuff. But what I don't get is Mark was telling her that some people are a little uncomfortable with her and her injury. And they think, and Nandy was like, oh, you already everyone knows you, the mayor knows that you already got your pension. Okay, but y'all don't gotta be mean about it. It was just like, oh, this is what other people feel. And when I heard that, I was like, Mark, I don't know, that's a little shady because you sounded a little passionate when you said it. None of my business. None of my business. And then, so she interrogates Arturo even though he was lawyered up and she wasn't supposed to. And then she gets criticized for that. But before, there was a lot of arm jokes. Like, y'all gotta chill with that. And then, next scene, we're at this Jamaican restaurant with, I don't know if there's like an owner or just some guy that works there, and Bushmaster. And Bushmaster has a problem with Mariah because she's a Stokes, and apparently the Stokes were responsible for for his family's death. And I was like, oh, that's why he is out. And then he realized that Luke Cage isn't really an enemy, but he needs the heart and the crown of Harlem to take control of it. Some yardy stuff. I don't get it. And then, so we go, next scene, we have Mariah. And Mariah is trying to figure out how to do this campaign. Because a lot of people don't really like her because of the controversy with her cousin. So, I think this is like her PR manager. She's like, why don't you reunite with your daughter? And I'm like, don't use your daughter. If you haven't spoken to her in this long, she probably don't want to be with you. Don't do that. So, then we go cut to the goons. I'm gonna just call them the goons. So Shades and Comanche. And Comanche, I think it's ironic because Comanche has been he's not commanding anyone. And actually other people are commanding him. Maybe that's how his guy's name. And he has a problem with that. So he tries to talk to Shades about it. And then he makes a joke like, oh, what's what you being on that American Gigolo shit? And then Shades takes off his freaking shades and looks like he's about to fight him. And I'm sitting here like, but did he lie? But did he lie? She looks like she's 20 years older than you. You are a gigolo. Come on now. You ain't doing it for money, though. That's probably the gag. And then, apparently, Shades had it. Because they go to Toro trying to get some money. And Toro's like, oh no, the deal's off until you freaking get your lawyers to do this. And then he's like, but you know what? Or if you don't listen to me, I'll spill the tea to Misty because she really likes your girl. And then he starts saying some very rude things in Spanish that I will not translate. But I was proud of myself when I was like, oh, I know what he's saying. I know what he's saying, but he's talking real slow. So, like, it's not that big of an accomplishment. But basically, all you know, he's disrespecting her. And so he was like, boom. Right through Arturo's head, and he didn't even get the money. And Mariah was pressed about that. Mariah was pissed and pressed. So, so this is a minor problem. After he did this, Comanche was like, oh, Comanche takes out the other two, Arturo's two henchmen, and then he was like, damn. Oh no, damn nigga, that pussy must be ridiculous. And that line was out of place. I see what they were trying to do, like added a real extra line, maybe to make people laugh, but that made me laugh. That made me like, really? Really? That made me not like Comanche, even though he has a very good plot. I sort of hope he works with Bushmaster later on this season and take down Mariah, because Mariah is disrespecting him for no real reason. He could have a better attitude or something, but Mariah, you don't have too many friends, okay? Anyway, minor rant aside. There's some disabled tension with everyone else in police in the precinct, and Misty and her little stump. And so she's like, y'all need to respect me and stop with the jokes. And I'm glad she laid the foot down, because Zizos were really trying to run her over. Like, no, Y'all ain't gonna disrespect Missy like that. Not on my goddamn watch. So Mariah goes to Mother's Touch, which is her daughter's business. Which, by the way, her name is not Tandy. That's Cloak and Dagger. So Tilda. Her name is Tilda, short for Matilda. And which is so ugly. Matilda, homegirl is she too young for Matilda. Anyway, she goes there, tries to rekindle, but like you can tell that she does not look that genuine. And she's like, well, you know where I can be found, but don't call me Mariah. I'm your mother. Respect me. I don't think you have the right to be talking about I'm your mother if you have not seen your daughter this long. So skirt, skirt. Skirt, skirt. That's why she was so comfortable calling you Mariah in the first place. And then we cut to Luke Cage trying to find all these people. Actually, I think I skipped that scene. But anyway, Luke Cage trying to figure out how we can get to Cockroach because he thinks Cockroach may be the next buyer. So he finds out that Cockroach has a baby mama from some poor guy. He freaking locked him with the weights. Like, dang! And then he finds out that where his baby mama lives. And he tried to ask her questions about Cockroach, but she shuts the door probably because she's afraid of her husband. And then the grandma from the down the hall is like helping him out. And then she's like, go kick his ass. Have a blessed day. Okay, so he goes to the dice game that Cockroach is at. And what I don't get, excuse me, is that Cockroach has this gun, and maybe it's because of the force, because he was really close and that was a big gun, but that dislocated his shoulder. I'm like, why has that never happened before? I thought he was indestructible or something. So that's the thing. And then so he goes to Claire to talk about it. And then Claire keeps talking about the father because apparently after she fixed the shoulder, she's like, "You have problems. You have emotional Judas bullets." Talking about the father, and I mean, like, maybe that's a problem, but I think the bigger problem is the crime going on in the city and finding out. Maybe he should try and figure out his limits, but the father isn't really that big of a problem, in my opinion. She keeps staying on this because she was affected by like a bad daddy-daughter relationship. But come on now, homegirl, this isn't the time. This really isn't the time. And then we go back to Mother's Touch because Bushmaster wants something. In the earlier scene, the store guy, I'm gonna call him not a mesero. What's the word in English? The waiter. I'm gonna call him a waiter because I don't know if he's a store owner or whatever. The waiter goes up to him and he's like, "Oh, I know this place where you can get that stuff." But he warns him that it hurts you the more you use it. So he's in Mother's Touch trying to get that stuff. And I think she knows what he's using it for. Because even though she was like, she still got it for him. And he paid her a lot for that. And then, with that being said, what's it called? It goes to, where are they? Oh, it goes to Mariah's house. And Mariah finds out that freaking Ototo was shot by him. He didn't say she was shot, but basically he did the thing like, oh, he's taken care of. And so, and he didn't tell him that he was in his feelings though. He didn't say that, oh, I was in my feels, so I shot him because he was disrespecting you. He didn't say that. He just said that he was willing to rat us out. So they decide that the Jamaicans are the next buyer. And this is again where homegirl disrespects Comanche. What? Comanche, not Comanche. Comanche sounds, I don't know, but that sounds like another language. And then what I find really interesting is that later on there's we go to like, there's like several scenes happening at once because they're at Harlem's Paradise and somebody's performing. So first of the scenes is there's a family rekindling. And homegirl Tilda, she goes up to her mom and she's just like, you can have one chance. She's like, that's all I need, baby girl. And then while this is happening, Bushmaster also with the music in the background is like mushing up all the stuff that he got, and he's like infusing it, and he's like getting stronger, and he's making some weird Norman Bates face while he's doing it. And then after that, there's like some biblical revenge because the dad, Reverend Lucas, is talking. First of all, I hate that he never calls Luke Cage Luke Cage. He's calling him Carl. That's another sign of him being a bad dad. And then I say it's biblical revenge because he's talking about that you shouldn't do this, right? You shouldn't be vengeful because it can consume you, right? And then that's like sort of to foretell what's going to happen to Luke because he wants to have revenge for what cockroaches. For what happened to Cockroach's wife and son. So he beats him up right in front of his freaking children's face. And what I thought was funny is that like he tried to use a groin kick. The groin kick is not super effective. It's not very effective at all. But anyway, he loses that, and then he stops, and then like it's interesting because it looks like he stopped because he sees his son just watching in fear. But I don't know. Like, why is that now being brought into your attention? You knew the son was there. You should have just, like, tapped him on the head or something. And then, like, training him how to fight. I don't know. That could have just been better. But you was really angrily fighting. You wasn't thinking when you did that. But anyway, that's how the episode ends. This is a pretty good episode. I liked it. What did y'all think? I'm really curious to rewatch episode 3 and see what happens. I sort of remember what happens, but I'm gonna rewatch it just so I don't give y'all a bad review like I did last week. So, anyway, that's that. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all whenever.
You ain't talking money, it's something I don't care about. Black and money minded, they call me a low, let me out. Beyond cloud, I put a rest to the naysay. I only know getting money, my only attack is pay.